so often there's a refreshing new outlook in the market that really captivates the mind but doesn't necessarily break the bank. And I think that's this, the Dongfeng Nammi 01, proximity sensors included. And it comes with a 42.3 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery that gives it an estimated range of about 317 kilometers WLTP. Under the hood, it's got a 70 kilowatt motor that produces 160 newton meters of torque, taking it to a top speed of 140 kilometers an hour. Not that I think you'll actually do it, but practicality wise, it's got 176 millimeters of ground clearance. It's got a rear boot space of 326 liters that can be folded down and expanded to 945 liters. Quite practical in size too. The company claims that using a 7 kilowatt fast AC charger will get the car charged in 5 to 6 hours time. And if you plug it into a DC fast charger, it goes up to 80% in about 30 minutes. But we all know it's going to take a bit longer than that, don't we? And since this is a car that's been making a name for itself in different European markets, but also now the Nepali market, due to the sheer number of features available on this car at this price point, I am on a hunt today. A hunt for where exactly Dongfeng and Nammi did some cost savings. So, shall we get on with the review? Alright, driving this car is definitely a very relaxing thing. Everything is right in front of you, and it's definitely not too difficult to maneuver in this car. Small length, good turning radius, and suddenly city traffic is quite easy and manageable. Never knew I would say that. It provides you 3 modes: an eco mode, a normal mode, which can all be done through this, a comfort mode, sorry, and a sport mode, which can all be toggled through this here, and they're all quite zippy. I really love the fact that you have very easy city creature comforts in this car. Side light, my blind spots are quickly detected and shown. It measures distance, it's sensing distance all the time. It actually gives the number of centimeters of proximity of how close things are. What other vehicle in the market does that at the moment? What? Brakes wise, this car has 4 disc brakes coupled with regenerative braking, which, you hear that? Those are side sensors. Which car has side sensors? I was approaching a wall and it beeped. Anyway, disc brakes, all 4 wheels, and you couple that with regenerative braking and things like auto hold, makes the driving in the city traffic super duper pleasant and easy. There's like really not much to worry about. You do have a lot of beeps and bongs like you just heard in narrow areas, but they're all there to alert you. You do have regenerative braking, and it's called energy recovery intensity, and it's available in weak, medium, and strong. So basically 3 modes. And the thing is, strong is pretty intrusive, but here's what I felt that Nammi was a bit lacking in. It's that regenerative braking doesn't instantly happen the moment you let go of the accelerator. Like, I'm in strong regen now, and then my foot let go of the accelerator and it's finally beginning to like slow down. There's like half a second, foot on the accelerator, I let go, and I finally have that strong regeneration. So there is that, I don't know, a bit of delay, but it's nothing too bad. Like, regeneration is really never supposed to be too intrusive. And so you just are going to have to get used to the timing of the region on this. Most other cars that I've tested just have it instantly, like the moment you let go, the car will retard. But this seems to coast for just a bit before like slowing down into like space. And yeah, quite promising nevertheless was also the suspension. I was a bit doubtful about it when I first picked it up, but it's on the supple side and it really does a good job of like handling bumpy potholes, uneven roads, rough road sections. I actually took it quite a bit rough roading just to check out how well that suspension recoil and like dampening was, and I was very impressed. Coupled with that suspension, the 176 of ground clearance for a, I think, 2660 2.6 meter wheelbase car feels pretty decent. Like, you really have to carefully drive it, in the sense you need to know where your wheel placement is, but as long as you have an idea of that, then you're good to go. Also, steering wheel sensitivity is pretty sharp, that it executes your turns quite swiftly. And your driving position is what surprised me the most, honestly. Like, really. It's a hatchback, so I was expecting like a more relaxed low seat position, but you're sitting pretty upright and tall on this car. How'd they do that? I don't know. It's not an SUV level commanding position, but it's good enough. You can see your bonnet quite nicely, and your wheel placements are exactly where they are supposed to be in the in the mirrors, because this is a hatchback. And what I'm quite impressed by the most though is that this car has ADAS level 2 functions. Your lane keep assist, your auto hold, your speed sensor, your traffic recognition, it's all there. And like you heard earlier in this section, all the beeps and bongs, you just don't get that in a car at this budget. I am gonna let you know I've turned off most of those ADAS level 2 settings due to personal preference. I would rather have it off rather than beeping and bonging at me all the time. But that's your preference. You can leave them on too. It might just save your life someday. You can certainly see that this car packs a personality, starting with the looks. It's got 4 vivid colors with dual tone options for a little bit extra. The colors are Ocean Eyes, which is basically a lighter blue shade, a Lavender Haze, which is a lighter purple lilac shade, a Vanilla Frost, which this car is, it's a deep white sort of tone, and a neon looking electric lemon. And all you need to do to activate the car is walk towards it with the key fob, and its proximity sensors will alert and open the car, just like a Tesla. When you walk away, it just locks itself up. Alright, as for the front of the car, opening up the manual engine bay, you have hydraulic fluids, your AC to DC converter, wiper fluids, brake fluids, a 12-volt battery, and a fuse box on the side. You can't really expect a frunk at this price point, can you? Also, maybe it'll just fit in a small frunk, maybe aftermarket. Anyway, right at the front you have infinity-shaped crystal DRLs with headlights, side lights, all integrated to it. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4 radar sensors at the front, including your 360 front camera. Also, more cameras at the top there, more radar sensors too, and you have your wipers tucked away. There's a very nice subtle play of lines and colors that make this car super approachable and nice. Coming to the side, your tire profiles are 215, 55, R17s, which means you have 17-inch rims with alloy wheels that actually are plum shaped. Quite cool. Looks kind of cute and nifty from this side. And then your charging port, CCS Type 2, your AC and your DC together. And then you have a integrated side light, side mirror that automatically opens and closes and can be adjusted from the inside. Your door handles also remain hidden unless you come close by with the key fob when it'll automatically begin. Oh, and here's something that you absolutely do not expect. Did you see that? The doors on this are actually frameless, both at the front and at the back. Wow, they did not cheap out there. And then you have plasticky side skirts down there, and then a bit of a Dongfeng branding on the side with a very nice slope unibody arch towards the C-pillar. Coming on top, underneath the plastic right now, is your shark fin antenna. There is no sunroof on this, even in the highest trim, and I think that's probably somewhere they did a bit of cost savings, because you'd have to need a whole structure up there and make the entire thing more rigid to handle turnovers in the case you have a sunroof on top. And then coming towards the back, you have a spoiler with a bit of a top mount stoplight, and then no wipers. Surprise, surprise. Maybe that's another cost saving. What do you think? But then at the bottom, you again have 4 more parking sensors. Also, I forgot to mention there are 2 more parking sensors on the sides of each car. Finally, you have your stoplight, indicator, and reversing light all integrated into the sides. Well, this is a hatchback after all, but it's on the larger side, and that directly translates to better cabin comfort for passengers. I'm actually in what Nammi calls its rest mode that can be done after you remove the headrest. As for interiors on this car, it's very stylish and upscale, honestly. Even in this budget category, there's a lot of visual key elements happening around in this cabin. For example, that glove box at the front, it rolls out like a drawer, not drops down like a traditional glove box. And it's got like a bit of a belt buckle finish to it, kind of like those old leather luggages. You also have a fair bit of zigzag stitching pattern going on throughout the car. All right, let me move back into the driver's seat and then continue on this interior walk around. Frameless doors with one-touch windows at the front and at the back. Fairly decently large size bottle holder with more cubby space here. And then you have a bit of a cubby on the side here. And then you have all of this stitching, zigzaggy, all around the dashboard. The seating arrangement on the driver's seat is all motorized. Height, reach, and then recline. And you also get front seat cooling as well as heating, so it's definitely a good touch. You actually have 4 memory seats that can be installed, preset. The center, the main highlight of this cabin, is a 12.8-inch infotainment. No Apple CarPlay or Android Auto for the moment, but who knows in the future. In addition to this 5-inch driver's display, you do have 6 speakers, 4 bigger speakers and 2 tweeters for audio in this car, and sound quality is mid. As for the driving seat itself, you can adjust the height of the steering wheel, though not by too much. There's no in and out though. Haha, finally found some cost savings again. And As for the car's functionality, the steering wheel's functionality, your cruise control and everything are on the left hand side. You have a favorite button that I, at the moment, programmed it to be a 360 view camera, but you can also program it to be an air conditioner and some other options. It's all in my infotainment video, by the way. The right side is your media controls like picking up phone, volume rockers, fast forward, rewind, and mode as in like radio or Bluetooth audio. As for your gear stalks, it's on the right with top being reverse. You do have an exceptional quality reversing camera with guided lines. Oh, and speaking of which, even when you put the car into drive via a bottom twist, this does show guiding lines for the front, and depending on whether you are tilting your steering wheel to the left or to the right, it actually shows your blind spots. Do you see that? See? Quite cool, right? Really smart. And then back into park mode. This car does have a bit of a floating center console island going on here with bottle holders, like pretty decent sized bottle holders there, a USB-A port here, and then a 12 volt 120 watt socket here, your AC vents, and then this wireless charger, by the way, actually has cooling vents on it, so really well thought out, Nammi. The car also comes with ambient lighting on the inside. Really nice. Again, did not expect this at this budget. Overall, infotainment feels really cozy thanks to this laid back sort of home wallpaper. Also very intuitive, like tap the jar, quick settings that can be pre-programmed here. I tap the radio, my media controls open up, and then I tap the light and I can change my ambient lighting controls. Smart, right? You do have a manually dimming rear view mirror here, and then your visors have pretty big mirrors with a light. Your central cabin lights can activate with a tap, and then you have your hazard lights up there. And then on the other side too, you have a passenger vanity mirror, but this one does not seem to have a light. Also, something really fun about this car is that there's actually a bag handle holder there in case you have like plastic bags and you don't want it going around. What's really interesting though is that the engine bonnet opener is actually on the passenger side for whatever reason, not on the driver's side. And even at the back, it's frameless doors and windows again with one touch happening at the back too. Quite cool, right? More of that zigzag stitching going on, another big bottle holder and a tertiary side cubby, and ample legroom at the back. Even with my driving position height of like 5'9", I have really good knee room, footwell room, and even a decent amount of shoulder room. I really like the fact that your eye level is with the window and it's fairly large, so you really feel that you're in a very expansive sort of space here. The back passengers do get ambient lightings around here, and there are 2 ISOVIX points at the back for baby seats. Quite well thought of. I did finally find out where Nammi finally did some more cost savings, and that's with the headrest. The middle passenger does not get a headrest, and nor is there a arm rest in the middle. Most cars just have it at this point, but then again, this is an entry budget segment, so I don't think this is a deal breaker. Also, what I just noticed was there is finally a Nammi badging on the interior here. No AC vents at the back or a USB charger either. But you can hardly call these things that I just pointed out make or break features, right? At least I wouldn't, since there are just so many other features already. Doesn't this hatchback pack in quite a punch? I am actually so happy with this. Like, there's finally an affordable EV in the market, albeit a Chinese EV, that is meant for the masses. Like, it's really not cut out any corners in terms of the features and drivability. It's as good as on par with much more expensive cars in a smaller footprint that's more approachable and friendly for city driving and safe. And honestly, it just makes me very happy just taking this around the car and just fitting it into places. It has a bunch of safety like warnings and notifications that you just don't get at this price point when you put it into sports mode. It's not a car that'll like make you push yourself, but it's pretty and like quick city zippy overtakes, quick braking too. That was definitely a surprise for me. You're very confidently braking in and turning on this car. And this car actually comes in an E1, E2, and an E3 variant. E1 and E2 variants have a smaller 31.4 kilowatt hour battery, which will probably give about 100 km less in range, but same car nevertheless with lesser features. And this one, the EC3, I think is the most bang for buck. Also, what really surprised me was the efficiency on this car. Like, what? For every 100 kilometers with very like aggressive driving, I got 11 kilowatt hour, which translates to about 8-9 kilometers per unit of electricity. And right now with like casual easy driving, I'm getting 8.7 kilowatt hour for 100 kilometers, which translates to 11-12 kilometers per unit of electricity. What? That is like really good efficiency if you like start peeking at the numbers. Quite impressed. Anyway, that's what I really want to end it on. This fact that the engineering behind this car is quite phenomenal. Like, you don't want to be fooled by its budget or its relatively small footprint on the road, but be amazed by just the engineering and the refinement and the bucket load of features that they've somehow been able to pack into this car. Really makes me happy. Anyway, I hope you like this review. Let me know what you think about it and drop a comment down below. See you on the next one.